Artificial intelligence is broadening its presence in our daily lives, and pundits believe we need to better understand the implications of this reality. So how does an era of mobile AI phones look to affect our everyday lives? Where does Korea stand in terms of advances in the field of AI? And how prepared are we for the concerns associated with rapid AI adoption? Hello and welcome to Issues and Insiders. I'm Min Sunhee. Today we address the adoption of artificial intelligence in our daily lives and its broader implications. For this, I have Professor Emeritus Soo-young of KAIST live on the line. Professor E, it's good to see you again.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to join.
Right. I also have Professor Ashique KHUDABUKHSH at Rochester Institute of Technology live on the line with us as well. Professor KHUDABUKHSH, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Right. Professor KHUDABUKHSH, with the launch of its Galaxy S24 series, Samsung says we are ushering in an era of mobile AI. What era do you envision amid the greater presence of AI phones?
I was looking at some of the features that this new phone is going to introduce. The feature like live translate, where you can actually converse with a person with whom you are not sharing the same language, and it can just like translate real-time conversations. That will be a big improvement towards reducing communication barrier. Then there are some other exciting features where it could use generative AI to summarize documents and process complex texts. So that could be also very useful. And then I was reading up about some advanced image editing capabilities, which could be concerning because it can be misused for misinformation or propaganda. But overall, I felt very excited about these new technologies. But one thing that makes me feel a little bit concerned that once one phone company introduces a better integration with AI technologies, then the competitors will also start feeling the pressure that they'll also have to integrate AI technologies. And if there is like a race to capture the market, then we might integrate certain features, certain AI features, without properly stress testing them. So these are some of the negative consequences that can happen. But on the positive side, it can be very helpful to reduce communication barrier, and also the applications sound very interesting.
Right, indeed. And for the time being then, these positive aspects of the new phone, Professor E, have Samsung saying that pre-orders here in the country for its fresh mobile lineup have hit a record high. Professor E, what do you suppose is the significance of these findings?
It is significant paradigm shift. People started realizing that AI become the must-have services for all humans, not just for nerdy IT engineers, and started using it every day. This trend will be accelerated exponentially. Almost 8 years ago, AlphaGo heralded the dawn of AI era by defeating human champion at Go game. However, people, at least average people, thought that AI is not for them. It has been changed 14 months ago by ChatGPT, which, or I may say who, makes human-like conversation with informative and sensible answers. Now, the second phase of AI revolution has started. People realize that AI has started to make everybody's life more efficient and enjoyable. In information search, document summarization, and even media creation, AI makes average people to work 5 to 10 times more and even better result. Especially the main new function of AI phone, real-time interpretation, will remove the language barrier. greatly improve productivity and promote globalization. I think that once the wheels of history start rotate, there is no way to stop it.
Right, indeed, which is why perhaps AI dominated the Consumer Electronics Show held earlier this month over in the US. Professor KHUDABUKHSH, what makes our understanding, do you think, of AI all the more important in recent times?
I think for common people, if we have better AI literacy, then we will be able to make use of this technology to become more productive and use the technology to our benefit. But on the other side, AI literacy is very important because we need to understand now that what we read, what we see, or what we listen to, they might be AI generated. So we cannot just take any content on its face value. For instance, there was a recent primary election where President Biden's voice was AI generated and misused as like a robocall, where he was telling other people not to vote and to preserve their vote for the general election. And this was like a fake call generated by AI. So this kind of things might happen more in future. So we have to be AI literate so that we can start questioning any document's veracity, like if this is accurate or not. And if there is any provocative content, we should actually be careful. Instead of like showing some knee-jerk reaction, we need to verify if the information is correct. So I think AI literacy will both help us become more productive, and also if there is any provocative or problematic content, we will be able to question them better.
Right, obviously, to take a more cautious approach to information online then. And before we delve into the concerns that come with the advances in AI, Professor E, back with regard to the Consumer Electronics Show earlier this month in the US, I believe we had you during that particular week to discuss the products. And let's take this opportunity to perhaps talk a little bit about more of the products there that incorporated AI that you believed were quite impressive.
Yeah, as an engineer, I care for added values to the users, especially for those who need in urgent need. In this sense, I'm delighted to mention that several digital healthcare products for elderly, children, and handicapped. Children and elderly, we play with AI friends and learn from personalized AI tutors while parents are busy at work. There will be other examples of digital humans who become friends and family members to lonely people and have personal conversation with shared memories and emotional expressions. In the near future of aged society, elderly will be able to maintain decent life with the help of AI digital humans. Human vital signals such as heart rate, respiration rate, oxygen saturations are seamlessly monitored by, in addition to the contact wearable sensors, remote microphone and cameras 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. Visually impaired people shall be guided by AI smart belt or glasses. I usually call it seeing earphone, which recognize the information of buildings and roads throughout the path in real time. People with speech difficulties may also get help from AI. Noise speeches are enhanced for clear recognition, and whisper speeches and voice code impaired speeches are converted to natural speeches in real time. Even hand tremor will be stabilized by AI. It's great for all the people.
Right, indeed. Some very exciting things to look forward to then. Professor KHUDABUKHSH, speaking as a scholar looking into South Korea's strides in the field of AI, how do you assess the country's, South Korea's that is, competitiveness in the field of AI?
Well, I mean, some of my very best students are from South Korea, so I'm very confident about the rich talent pool the country has. And I think there are some very great research institutes also. KAIST is very productive in AI research. And if there is a general enthusiasm in public about AI products, then innovators will feel encouraged to work towards newer applications. So I think the future of South Korea in AI is very, very bright.
Right, and hopefully you're right then. Professor E, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is reportedly seeking to boost chip collaboration with South Korea. What do you believe are the broader implications of such a joint potential venture?
Yes, it is a potentially very important venture. As we all know, the current trend of AI, so-called generative AI, requires enormous computing power and memories for training. Even inference on pre-trained LLM still require heavy computing power beyond that of smartphone. However, people want privacy and they want to keep their intellectual property, and many people and companies want to keep their information inside of their devices, not go to the cloud. It is called on-device AI, which is only possible by efficient models and high-performance computing devices. Especially current AI models are inspired by biological neural network in our brain, which utilize parallel processing and distributed memory. The AI processor may incorporate this concept with GPUs, but instead of distributed memory, use high bandwidth communication between processors and memory. However, once designed and manufactured, processor chips are not easy to modify, and optimum processing architecture may be difficult to change. Therefore, we need to make trade-off between the model and chips. Traditionally, processor companies and software companies were separated, which sometimes lead to inefficiency. Intel and AMD belong to the former, while Microsoft and Google are the leader in the software. Apple has been the clear leader in the hardware and software co-development, which result in supreme performance and loyal fandom. On the other hand, OpenAI is specialized in models, while Samsung is in the smartphone and semiconductor technology. Therefore, the joint venture between Samsung and OpenAI makes sense. However, I should also warn that there need to be some hurdle to overcome. The two companies have quite different background and work cultures, which may hinder the joint ventures. Therefore, the success may depend on how to make common ground and practice for both companies.
Right, I see. Then in the meantime then, Professor KHUDABUKHSH, what are your recommendations for corporate Korea to sharpen its edge over the global competition in the field of AI?
I think one recommendation would be to, before integrating technology with new devices, it should be stress tested properly. And once things are out in the market and users start using it, we might find out that there are corner cases if we did not consider them before. Then it might create problems that we did not foresee at that point of time. And I'm saying this because when these large language models, I mean, it's still going on. New LLMs are being introduced almost every week. When there was a mad rush, a lot of different academic groups and industry, they were trying to introduce large language models almost every week. And I think our new research actually shows that some of these models' guardrails, they do not work very properly. So we found that many large language models can generate very disturbing anti-Semitic and racist and misogynistic content, which their own guardrails cannot identify as and evaluate as problematic. So if there is like a technology race where multiple competing interests are involved, we should keep in mind that at the end, whenever we integrate AI and we offer that through some devices, we should be able to do proper stress test so that the end users they get the benefit out of it, but they don't get harmed by that. So in order to sharpen, I think Korea's focus on AI, I think one thing will be if Korea considers those corner cases better, and the product when that is accessible to public, it is already in very good shape. That will create a lot of trust in public about AI applications, and more people will be willing to try them out and will be willing to try them out for their own benefit.
Right, of course. And Professor E, what worries you most about a society that is very open to AI, and what do you suppose can be done to better address that concern?
There are a lot of worries and a lot of hopes. But I'm confident on overcoming and resulting in the prosperous human-AI collaboration in the future. You may say AI is simply a tool which may help humans to do something good or something bad. I usually say that AI is similar to a baby who may grow up as a great human being or the other way around. All AI depends upon how we nurture baby and AI. We do not think humans should postpone having babies just because babies' future are unknown. In the same way, I do not agree with the insistence of postponing AI development. Instead, we should continue to teach and monitor the development of AI. Then, if needed, we may provide advice and guidance to align AI goals with human goals. Without starting and without let the AI grow and used by human, we can never understand what kind of problem the AI will have in the future. In this sense, I would like to ask human society to make another paradigm shift for treating AI as friends or family members. Also, I would like to suggest the government and international organizations to provide user education with license or certificate for using at least certain high learning capability AI. So it's not just postponing and proposing. I just to say we need to go on, keep on monitoring and nurturing them, align the AI goals to human goals. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Right, indeed. And I love your metaphor, which is why I'm going to borrow it, Professor E. Professor KHUDABUKHSH, how do we nurture this AI child to become a more productive member of our society?
I absolutely like the idea proposed by Professor Lee that we need to encourage AI users also to show some kind of literacy so that if there is a product that involves that has like capabilities to cause harm and also capabilities to like help us, we should be able to use them in the right way. And if we are AI educated, we will be able to do that. And I also feel that just plain fear mongering about technology will not be a great idea. But if we find certain limitations in technology, then it is responsible AI researchers' responsibility to report those blind spots or limitations, so that in the next iteration, when there is another large language model or another AI application, we can address those issues. So that's exactly how learning works, right? I mean, when a child is growing up and we find that the child maybe has some gap in understanding maths or some gap in understanding science or geography or history, we don't just like stop sending the child to school. We try to address those issues, and then the child becomes strong in the other subjects, the weak subjects, and the overall education of the child improves. So similarly in AI, if we see any blind spot, we have to report that, and it's not just a job of the company, it's also a job of the academic researchers, it's job of the users who are using them. I mean, ChatGPT has been used by so many people, and they found gaps in ChatGPT. They reported those things, and in the end, the large language model became better. So I think that we have to have an all-hands-in kind of effort, and that will improve the technology. And as Professor Lee suggests, like treating AI like a baby, I mean, the baby will grow up and become a very useful member of the society.
Well, it does take a village to raise a child, so I agree then. All right, Professor KHUDABUKHSH, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts. And Professor Yi, as always, thank you very much for your insights.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Right, well, that is all the time we have for this edition of Issues and Insiders. Thank you for watching. See you same time tomorrow, that is Wednesday.